My Aunt Hotep, namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast. We are so pleased that you are with us today, beloved. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into our most important broadcast. This is very important because today we're going to be discussing why Dr. King was secretly meeting with the Honorable Elisha Muhammad. This is important that we discuss this, and we're going to talk about the importance of the Black gods, the circle of gods to convene. But a little bit of housekeeping. As you come in, please come in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Would you do that? If you're watching us on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, when you give us a thumbs up, beloved, make sure at the bottom of your screen that you hit the share button. And of course, if you're watching us on another platform, you can do the same thing in terms of at the bottom of your screen. Hit the share button, copy the link, and then you can share it out on some of your other social media platforms. Thank you so very much. The reason we ask you to do that is because it helps to draw other folk into our broadcasts. Also, we want you to know that you can text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Are you hearing me? Text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live. And finally, I want you to know that we have a store. Our store where you can buy all kinds of apparel and Fly Nubian product, and that is at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Thank you so very much, beloved. These are extraordinary times. Shout out to you, Black family, those of you that are giving me the greetings in the chat. Welcome, 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 beloved. We're so glad that you're with us today, and it's such an honor. And shout out to our beautiful moderators that are in the digital building. Thank you so very much for joining us as well. I thought today to be an important topic because of the extraordinary times that we are in, beloved. And indeed, we are in extraordinary times. We, beloved, are in a season, as we've dubbed it, the Holy Uprising. Holy Uprising 2020. Holy Uprising 2020. And the reason this season is so divine and so precious, the reason we call the uprisings that we're seeing all across this country, and that has gained momentum globally, is because anytime you are engaged in resistance of unrighteousness, anytime you are resisting against oppressive forces, mainly white supremacy, that is a divine thing. That is a holy thing. Are you hearing me today? So we're still in that season, family. And I know that mainstream white media is not covering it as much, but we're going to continue to talk about it. And I want you to understand the interconnectedness of it in my daily shows. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Now watch this. I brought to my audience attention on a number of occasions, right? I brought to my audience attention on a number of occasions for the last, I don't know, a year and a half, couple of years or so, an article that was written from The Intercept October of 2017, right? And let me see if I can go now and post it in the chat. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to work it here, y'all. Give me a second to get it together, beloved. All right. Let me see if I can get in the chat, make my way in the chat. Shout out to everyone that's in the Digital Black building. So pleased that you are with us today. Thumbs up, family. Be sure to like and be sure to share. Okay, so I'm putting it in the link right now. The Intercept article from some time back. I've been bringing that to our attention for a number of reasons, in a number of ways, right? Watch this. So this piece is titled, I want you to see it for yourself. Can you see that? It's kind of hard to see. But anyway, it says the FBI spends a lot of time spying on Black Americans. The FBI spends a lot of time spying on Black Americans. I go to this often because I don't want you to forget or lose sight of what's happening right now, beloved. This is what I posted on my Instagram page today. I posted a little later than what I normally do. But anyway, I posted this on my Instagram page. And that is a picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad there, the founder of the Nation of Islam, and Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King. Some of you may be aware that these pictures existed, but I know that many even, do not. Take a very good look at that, beloved. And so, again, I posted why Dr. Martin L. King and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad met in secret. Keep that in mind. Why did Dr. King secretly meet and have a relationship with, especially the last couple of years of his life, with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? And what I put in the description under this is that during the height of the civil rights movement, the average American was unaware that MLK and Elijah Muhammad were secretly meeting. Let me tell you why they did and why we should now. Think about that. I'm talking again today about why did Dr. Martin Luther King secretly meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? But I'm reminding you of a fairly recent article that was published at the end of 2019. For the last couple of plus years, I've been warning you about America spying on us and other similar things, particularly in 2017 when it was exposed that your government was spying specifically on Black Americans. Are you hearing me today? Shout out to you, Tropical Punch. I share your videos everywhere I go now, from home and to work and church. Family, you are so awesome. Thank you, beloved. Shout out to you, Erica, for your gift. I bless both of your gifts 1,000-fold. Much love, Queen B. Teach. Our deputy friend is making so much progress. That's beautiful in the cases she's working on. Thanks to your videos. Oh my gosh, that's such a blessing. Thank you all so much. Listen. So I posted today. What did I post? Why Dr. King secretly met with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're talking about last century, right? We're talking about the mid-20th century or so, right? But then I'm bringing to your attention an article. This particular article was written October 2019. But in August of 2017, I believe it was about, is when we found out other mess making, mischief making, and spying that our government, the FBI specifically, was doing with a program called Black Identity Extremism. Are you hearing me today? But this piece that was written In 2019, which I would say is a companion really to the explosive leaking in August of 2017 that the government was spying on us, this piece from The Intercept gives us more detail. Not everything that we need to know, but it does give us a bit more insight. Shout out to you, Victor. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Listen. So I want to remind you of what's happening now. So 2019, Trump's president. The Intercept piece says the FBI spends a lot of time spying on Black Americans. The FBI released a new trove of documents relating to its surveillance of Black activists. And then it says underneath that, they are mostly redacted. They are mostly redacted. Amongst other things, I want to point this to your attention, bring this to your attention. What does it say? The FBI has come under intense criticism. And again, the link is in the chat. The FBI has come under intense criticism after a 2017 leak exposed that its counterterrorism division had invented a new unfounded domestic terrorism category it called Black identity extremism. Since then, legislators have pressured the Bureau's leadership to be more transparent about its investigation of Black activists, and a number of civil rights groups have filed public records requests to try to better understand who exactly the FBI is investigating under that designation. Although the Bureau has released hundreds of pages of documents, y'all pay attention to this, it continues to shield the vast majority of these records from public scrutiny. The sheer volume of documents those surveillance efforts have produced is troublesome, advocates say. The last batch of FBI documents obtained by the American Civil Liberties Union and the racial justice group Media Justice and shared with The Intercept reveals, y'all please listen, that between 2015 and 2018, the FBI dedicated considerable time and resources. I'm going to say it again in case you all think that this is just a little blip and not that big of a deal. Between 2015 and 2018, the FBI dedicated considerable time and resources to opening a series of assessments into the activities of individuals and groups it mostly labeled Black separatist extremist. Shout out to you, Naturally, Tura, for your gift. I wake to your videos and sleep to them, always feeling like the world is mine. Oh, beautiful. That's so precious. Thank you so much. Did you all hear that? This designation was eventually folded into the category of Black identity extremism. Notice the original title of it though, y'all. Black separatist extremist. It's not too many organizations or people that push that. So your government in recent years started a series of assessments into activities of folk they labeled as Black separatist extremists. And then they changed the category to Black identity extremists. Let me skip down. It goes on to talk about how the FBI claimed that it had abandoned the Black identity extremism label, substituting it for a racially, this is a quote, substituting it for racially motivated violent extremism. Critics say that this designation conveniently obscures the fact that that Black extremist violence, unlike white supremacist violence, does not actually exist. So your FBI in recent years made up an unfounded, they engineered it, they made it up out of thin air, a fake designation, a fake category to justify them surveillancing or snooping or spying on you. Watch this. Let me skip through because this is quite a long and lengthy article. Again, the link is in the chat. Did you all see that? The link should be in the chat, family. The link should be in the chat. I want you to make sure that you get that you check this out in your downtime, to really read through it, really look through it, okay? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Vicky Show. I'm going to put the link in the chat again. Let's see if I can do that from here. There you go. So the link again should be in the chat. All right. Let me get back to this article. I'm going to connect some dots here. This is a space for intelligent Black people. So let's walk through this. All right, so let's walk through this. It goes on. And this is one of the main points of the article because it's quite lengthy that I want you to really pay attention to. And that is this. Under the section that says working with police, it says, in addition to paperwork relating to its multiple assessments, the new documents include reports of liaisons with organizations outside of the FBI and electronic communications suggesting active FBI collaboration with other law enforcement agencies. Did you all catch that? In other words, your FBI was spreading this information, this made up, invented, false category of Black violent extremists and its other variants. They shared that fake and unfounded report with other law enforcement agencies. Do you all know that we have at least about 20,000 or so law enforcement agencies? I believe at last count it was like 18,000 and something. Official or formal ones. Y'all listen. What did it say? The new documents include reports of liaisons with organizations outside of the FBI and electronic communications suggesting active FBI collaboration with other law enforcement agencies. The Bureau's memos streaming a number of meetings involving local law enforcement, including in the days before the first anniversary of Brown's killing in Ferguson, which get a sip here of my mug that I got it, a mug that you can get at shopfnq.com. Listen, in another exchange, law enforcement partners were asked to contribute to collecting better intelligence on possible Black separatist extremists. I want you to think about that. Are y'all hearing me? Somebody says I'm buffering or they trying to mess with our feed. Let me check it out here. What about now, family? I don't know why they messing with our feed. Are we good now? Okay. Looks like we're back on it. Let's try it again, okay? Okay, y'all saying I'm good now. You're not buffering. Okay, so if you're still buffering, clear your device. Okay, thank you so much. All right, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. No weapon formed against us shall prosper, huh, y'all? Let me try to get through this because tonight is my mastermind class, so I've got to get ready for that too. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. Go to clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com. I think for a season they're doing a special for $1 for the first month, so you don't want to miss that. Where each Wednesday evening I'm dropping a spiritual jewel, and you get to ask me questions in a question and answer segment at clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com. All right. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Yahovason, for your gift. Thank you, sis, for being a light for those who are in the dark. My pleasure, beloved. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see me okay. Looks like we were losing a few people because of some issues we were having with that, but hopefully we're back on track. So the point is that the FBI made up this title, right? It made up this designation that was totally what? Unfounded, right? This unfounded designation. Watch this. But what was interesting, among other things, is this part where I just said about them tracking different movements even before the Ferguson situation, right? But it also says, let me make sure I'm reading the right part. Yes, these documents, it says, suggest that since at least 2016, the FBI was engaged in a national intelligence collection effort to manufacture a so-called Black identity extremist threat. That's what the deputy director of the ACLU Racial Justice Program told The Intercept. Very important that they manufactured a so-called Black identity extremist threat. So your government in your day and in your time and in recent years was manufacturing, making up lies about Black people. They were doing it within the government, and they were busted because those documents were leaked to the press in August of 2017. He goes on saying that we're troubled about the fact that so much information is not being made available to the public. We just know that the government is likely redacting information that should be disclosed to the public. It frequently does. That's what we know today, right? Even the documents they released, they redacted it. They blotted out so much of it. It's impossible for us to know really enough of the details that we should be entitled to know, that we should have access to. Shout out to you, Silent D Production. Yeah, so the FBI made up lies about Black identity, about Black extremists. Exactly. Now watch this. The part that I want to continue to bring to your attention is this. These liaison organizations that I mentioned a few minutes ago, outside of the FBI and electronic communications, suggesting active FBI collaboration with other law enforcement agencies, it says that the Bureau's memos refer to a number of strategy meetings, including law enforcement, including the days before the first anniversary of Brown's killing in Ferguson, which reignited protests, right? In another exchange, it says law enforcement partners were asked to contribute. This is important. Law enforcement partners were asked to contribute to, quote, collecting better intelligence on possible Black separatist extremists. What do they mean by possible Black separatist extremists? Your government making up lies. Let me get to the point on this so I can get back to Dr. King and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and why they were having secret meetings. Even so, the documents suggest that the Bureau did in fact target a speech as part of its surveillance activities. At some point, monitoring the October 2015, that's just about 4+ years ago, October 2015, Million Man March in Washington, D.C. While most of the memo concerning the march is redacted, the document does refer to the violent rhetoric, that's a quote, does refer to, quote, violent rhetoric and nature of the event. Watch this. Even though the march was, in fact, a nonviolent demonstration that drew tens of thousands to the Capitol to commemorate the original 1995 event and protest a series of high-profile police killings of Black men. That's one of the things that they were able to prove in those documents, that they were specifically monitoring the Nation of Islam, because that's the Million Man March. And ostensibly those that were in attendance. Are y'all hearing me? Now let's get into this next part. I came across some important information regarding Dr. King. Are y'all hearing me today? Looks like you all can see me okay. Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. If you're buffering, family, just clear out your device to see if it's your device, okay? I won't be in here very long today, family, because I got to get ready for my mastermind. So just hang out with me, okay? Now watch this. I pulled up some information. Let me get to it now. Here it is. I pulled up some information from what's called the researchminister.com. You can go there and you can get this link and this information for your reading later on so that you can vet through this. And one of the things it describes is several important things that many people did not know about Dr. King, and many things that some of us did not know about his relationship with other powerful Black men like the Nation of Islam. Now, what I came across is a letter, and I want to show it to you, even though you won't be able to see it all from there. I'm going to read it to you, okay? I came across a copy of the actual letter. Can you all see that? Let me see if I can show you the first half and blow it up so that you can see the letterhead. From the Elijah Muhammad to Dr. Martin Luther King. And I want to read you what this letter said. Do you all see that? This is a letter, as you can see the letterhead, from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Dr. King. And I want you to listen very closely to what's said, keeping in mind the article that I read, a recent article that exposes that your FBI and your government is surveillancing Black people and Black organizations, right? It reads, this is dated July 6, 1966. Dated July 6, 1966. 54 years ago. Shout out to you, Cheryl, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. She said, thanks for all you do. You're so welcome, beloved. My pleasure. Watch this. Listen to the letter, y'all. It reads, Elijah Muhammad to Dr. Martin Luther King. It's addressed. Dear sir, we have reached a crucial, y'all please listen to this. While I'm reading this, I want you to keep in mind all of what was going on in the 1960s. I want you to think about the Black so-called nationalist organizations, the powerful Black men and women and organizations that existed to fight this beast of white supremacy. Dear sir, Elijah Muhammad to Dr. King. Dear sir, we have reached a crucial crossroad in the life of our people here in America. Since all of us who love our people are walking toward one goal, freedom, justice, and equality from the common enemy, let us realize that in unity, there is strength. Let us come together in a meeting to discuss the future plans and programs needed to achieve these goals for our people. If we have any love and respect for each other, Let us be intelligent about the matter and present to America and all the world a unified Black front. The destiny of 22 million Black people is too important to allow disunity among us to prevent our achievement of a united front of Black Americans. Now look what he says, and this part is underlined so you'll know how important this part is, the underlined part. Do y'all see this? This is what it says. The meeting nor the place need be public. Please let me have your answer within 10 days. Cordially, your brother, Elisha Muhammad, messenger of Allah. And then he sent copies to Mr. Roy Wilkins, Executive Secretary of the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, which that is, Mr. Whitney Young of the National Urban League, Mr. Floyd McKissick, the Congress of Racial Equality, which is CORE, and Mr. Stokely Carmichael, Chairman of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Did you all hear that? Listen to the first sentence, and then I want you to listen to the last part of this letter. The Honorable Elisha Muhammad says, we have reached a crucial crossroad in the life of our people here in America. And the last part says what? The meeting nor the place need be public. Byron says, finally found your live feed. Yes, beloved, apparently we're having some issues and some folks might be having a hard time finding us. Sometimes they try to do that to our show where they try to shadow ban, which means make it difficult for folks to see it. Folks don't even realize that we're live, but that's okay. We believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. So we're so pleased that you've joined us today, family. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you and we'll upload it. And we just trust that the right people will see it. Meanwhile, you can help us by sharing this link, by giving us the thumbs up, liking and sharing. Thank you so very much. And again, I don't know what's going on. We had a little buffering and stuff too. And why some folks are having a hard time finding us, but we're glad that you found us. Thank you so very much. So the Honorable Elisha Muhammad reaches out to his Black brothers and powerful Black organizations. Who? Dr. King. And copies were sent to who did I say? NAACP, the National Urban League, CORE, and SNCC. Watch this. The last part of the letter says, the meeting nor the place need be public. Now, why am I emphasizing that? Because we know that America likes to snoop on Black people. We know that a part of her efforts to disrupt, to destroy Black progress, meddling in Black business. We know that one of the directives of the FBI under COINTELPRO, and I'm getting ready to read you part 2 of it. And you can see this is from J. Edgar Hoover. You all see, you can tell that was from a typewriter from back in the day, huh? I'm going to read you directly from COINTELPRO. And I know people don't want us to talk about this today, but too bad, so sad. And by the way, the thoughts that are expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the network, but they are my own. The thoughts expressed on this particular show by me, Vicki Dillard, may not necessarily be those of FlyNubianQueenTV.com or our affiliates, but they are certainly my own, beloved. And I want you to listen again very closely to what you heard your FBI is doing in your day, right? That's through the Black Identity Extremist Program, which we know is made up, it's manufactured, it's fake, it's fraudulent. And we know that it's still ongoing by belief and by information, based on belief and information. But listen to what they said in COINTELPRO point 2. Listen to this. section 2 of this particular part. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing, family. Don't forget to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you can get on our phone list, okay? Listen. To prevent, who is this from? The FBI under COINTELPRO. Shout out to you, Cherise. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Much love and respect for what you give us, Queen. You are absolutely priceless. Thank you so much. Now listen. To prevent the rise of a Messiah. I want to try to blow this up. Even though this is an old typewriter print, actual copy, excerpt of the copy. Do you see that in quotes there? What's in quotes there is the word Messiah written by your government. I don't want you to think I'm making that up or that I'm putting spiritual or biblical emphasis elsewhere. Do you all see that? That's the language of your government, family. Do you see that? Do you see that? Listen, because I got to do a short show today because I got to get to work on my mastermind at 9 p.m. Eastern today. Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. By the way, if you want to join us for that, it's not too late. We have dozens and dozens that are signed up for it, and it's been absolutely amazing. That's clubvicky.com, an exclusive VIP class that I give each week. Watch this. To prevent the rise of a Black Messiah, that's your government's language, who could unify, electrify the militant Black nationalist movement. Malcolm X, it says, y'all listen, might have been such a Messiah. He is the martyr of the movement today. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elisha Muhammad all aspire to this position. Elisha Muhammad is less of a threat because of his age. King could be a very real contender for this position should he abandon his supposed, quote, obedience to white liberal doctrines, nonviolence, it says in parentheses, and embrace Black nationalism. Carmichael has the necessary charisma to be a real threat in this way. Did you all hear what I just said? That was a quote from your government. Pay attention. It said that King could be a very real contender for this position should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines of nonviolence and embrace Black nationalism, right? Do not forget how they say they believe that Dr. Martin Luther King could qualify for being this Black Messiah if he were to do what, family? Abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines. Now let's fast forward. Let's fast forward the last couple of so years of his life. Listen to a few facts and secrets that the Honorable Elisha Muhammad and Dr. King shared. I want you to look very closely at this picture, which is a news clip. Here we go. Which is a news clip about the major address of 1966. And then I want you to look at the bottom of this clip and look at the pictures. Do you all see that? The publication that the Nation was doing at that time before the final call, it was called The Messenger. Do you see that? The Messengers, well, that one actually says, I'm sorry, it's Muhammad Speaks. The title of that article was called The Messenger Speaks in Chicago, February 26 to 27. The actual article is actually the Muhammad Speaks. Do you all see that though? This. Now look at the bottom of this article. Look at these two photos. That's Dr. King sitting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And look here. That's Dr. King and his lovely wife, Coretta Scott King, and Elijah Muhammad. Do you all see that? And look how excited Coretta Scott King is there with a beautiful smile on her face as her husband is meeting, as they are both greeting and meeting the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now listen, I'm going somewhere. A few things that you need to know, family. Remembering the letter that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent out to Dr. King and other organizations, right? Like the NAACP, SNCC, CORE, right? And the Urban League, right? He said that this meeting need not be public. He understood very well the nature of our open enemy to make messes and to get stuff stirred up. How many of you all know about what Meritorious Manumission was about? We understand that the Meritorious Manumission was about a slave owner's ability to free his or her own slave. And we know that one of the reasons that would qualify a slave being freed under the Meritorious Manumission is when they did what? If they saved the life of their master, if they did something, if they made an invention that benefited them or their property or their business. And we know one of the other things that qualified an enslaved African to receive meritorious manumission, which means freedom, is if they did what? If they snitched on other Black folk. If they snitched on possible Black rebellions. That was one of the qualifications for receiving freedom. So they plant your bootlicks inside of Black organization to bring back intelligence, to bring back information to our open enemy. And you best believe they're still doing the very same thing today. And some folk don't understand that they are doing it with your knowledge, and sometimes they're doing it without your knowledge. But they're certainly doing it with your cooperation, and you may not realize that that's exactly what you're doing today. Shout out to you, Let's Party, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. $50 towards my education I received from the Queen that is priceless. Thank you so much. I bless your generous gift 1,000-fold. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing, would you? Thank you all so much for joining us. We apologize. We had some delay and some technical issues. We understand that some people had problems even realizing that we are live right now, where our show was shadow banned today, but that's okay. We're going to keep liking and sharing. Let as many people as you know possible that the Vicky Show is on, and we trust at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. Listen, there are several important facts that's important to know, and that's interesting to know about both Dr. King and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But I want you to keep in mind that we know that our open enemy, we know that America, white supremacist America, does not want to see Black unity. Now, before some of you all say, well, you know, that's why all of us have to come together. That's not what I mean. What do you mean, Vicky? That's not what you mean. How many of you are familiar with the parable of the wheat and the tares? Shout out to you, Willie, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. How many of you all are familiar with the parable of the wheat and the tares? In the book of Matthew, chapter 13. See, this is an important lesson for us to know, because so many people are like, well, okay, every black person should unify. So if Vicky is giving constructive criticism to her brother or to her sister, does that mean that Vicky is causing division? No. When you're bringing about correction, beloved, the whole purpose of correction is so that you can course correct and get back on track. Is that right, family? It's about pointing out an error so that it might be what? Corrected. But I remind you all often that in the story of even the children of Israel, as it's written, of course, that story is about you, because remember, much of scripture is prophetic. It's manifesting now. Are y'all hearing me? I remind you often that even when the children of Israel were involved in their exodus from bondage, don't forget it's written that many who were in bondage were actually fighting to go back to it. Somebody talk black to me. Are y'all hearing me today? Don't forget that they lifted up their mouths to complain and to murmur against their deliverers. Don't forget that they were basically engaged in upending and undoing what was happening in that moment of deliverance that would lead them to the promised land. Don't forget that it's written that the God himself, that the creator, was so sick of them, he was wanting to just kill them all off. I said the God wanted to get rid of them. You're not more spiritual, you're not more moral than our creator. He understood the danger in allowing individuals with that mindset and with that attitude to infect the new world, the promised land, with that mindset. Your doer says you didn't get your notification. I'm sorry, beloved. A lot of people didn't get their notifications, and some folks says that we didn't even know we were live. That's okay. At the right time, the right people will see the broadcast. Thumbs up, thumbs up. In the meantime, family, keep liking and sharing. On the count of 3, for those of you that have it, hit that thumbs up button, would you? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And don't forget, family, to follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Now listen. It's about connecting with the right people. Now, if God knew that it was dangerous to bring the rebellious into the promised land, and the only reason, don't forget, he didn't kill them all off, was because of the intercession of Moses, remember? But did God allow them to get into the promised land? No. Only who? Only Joshua and Caleb. They were the only 2 elders that were allowed to enter. The rest of them, he didn't kill them immediately, but he allowed them to die off after what? It's written, 40 years. Is that right? And the younger generations was made to enter. Don't forget that principle. But the other principle that I want to remind you of is the wheat and the tares. It's a story. That's what a parable is. It's a story to convey a certain principle. In Matthew chapter 13, I really want you to listen to this and to keep that in mind, that it's about black folk building with other like-minded black people. Watch this. In Matthew chapter 13, it talks about a parable that he puts forward. The black Jesus of 2,000 years ago. He says that the kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. Y'all listen. While he slept, though, the man who sowed good seed in his field, while he slept, the man who sowed good seed in his field, it says his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. You understand that these imposters that's in our midst, these fakers, they didn't come there by accident. It's written that an enemy, y'all play too much. An enemy sowed the tares among the wheat. Listen. It says, but when the grain had sprouted and produced a crop, then the tares also appeared. So the servants of the owner came and said to him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares? God, today. Where are these people that appear to be coming out of nowhere, trying to lead Black folk? Where are these people coming from? How are their voices being elevated? Listen. It says that the servants of the owner came and said to him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares? He said to them, an enemy has done this. I need y'all to listen. I'm not going to be before you long because I got to get ready for my mastermind class today and I got some medical stuff to do. He said, an enemy has done this. But watch what this intelligent agrarian, watch what this farmer says next. What does he say when he recognized that his enemy planted tares amongst his field of wheat? He's strategic in how he deals with it. He's not impetuous or impulsive or reckless. I need y'all to hear me. My desire to raise up a strong, elite Black army that's intelligent and wise and ready to build a Black nation is not one that's reckless. It's a very tactical, strategic, methodical, and effective group. Listen, thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. What did the servant say? The servant said to the owner, Sir, did you not sow good seed in the field? How then do we have tares? How then does it have tares? Let me get a sip of water. He said to them, an enemy has done this. The servant said to him, do you want us then? I'm giving y'all strategy here. I hope y'all are catching this. I hope you're connecting the dots. He says, do you want us then to go and gather them up? They say to the owner who sowed the good seed, after he says an enemy put those tares in there. An enemy corrupted or tried to corrupt my field. So they said, do you want us to go gather them up? Do you want us to go call them out? Do you want us to expose each and every one of them? Watch what he says. Do you want us to then go and gather them up? Verse 29. But he said, no, lest while you gather up the tares, you also uproot the wheat with them. He says, I don't want you to pull up the tares. I don't want you to pull up the imposters, the fakes, the phonies, the moles yet. Not just yet. He says, because if you do it at this stage, if you do it prematurely, if you come all out, y'all watch this, you might affect the growth and the development of the real deal of the wheat. So what did he say? Y'all ain't ready for this. Some of y'all know it. He says what? Let both grow together. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, first gather together the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. He says, give it a little more time to let the situation mature a little bit so that you don't affect the growth of the actual wheat. And during harvest time, watch this, gather the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them. But gather the wheat into my barn. So in case you all are confused about the revelation of the meaning of that particular parable, it goes on to give an interpretation of it. It says in verse 37, he said to them, that's Jesus, he who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seeds are the sons of the kingdom, but the tares are the sons of the wicked one. The enemy who sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the angels. Therefore, as the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will gather out his kingdom, all things that offend, and those who practice lawlessness. Y'all keep telling me to teach, and expose. Pay attention to that. So I want to be very clear. For some of you that is talking about division, there is also a principle of necessary division, just like in the parable of the wheat and the tares. Do you understand? Where there are lookalikes, but they're not actually the real deal. And at a certain time, harvest time, the separation is going to come according to this universal parable and principle. Talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Don't forget, I'm starting my mastermind class again tonight. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. Get information at clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com. I just read to you an excerpt for some important information that you needed to know about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. King and why they met in secret. Now listen to a bit more. Here's a few interesting facts about these two men, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. King. Both of them were sons of Georgia. Both of them were from Georgia, whether you all knew that or not. I don't know if whether or not you knew that. They both had, they were the sons of Baptist preachers. Both of them were viewed by J. Edgar Hoover as candidates for the position of a Black Messiah. Listen. Both Dr. King and Messenger Muhammad were spied on by groups like the ADL. Did you all know that? Did you all know that? Henry Schwarzschild waited a long time to go public with his personal horror story about the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith. Today, an employee of the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, he resigned from a high-ranking position in the ADL's publicity office in the mid-1960s when he discovered, to his shock, that the ADL was spying on the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on behalf of J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI. Just a little food for thought. Rachel Maddow is not going to give you this information. Chris Cuomo, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, they're not going to tell you this. It was not until the spring of 1993, nearly 30 years after he quit the ADL, that Schwarzschild came forward and told about the league's efforts against Dr. King. In an April 28, 1993 interview, Schwarzschild told San Francisco's Weekly, quote, "The ADL thought King was some sort of a loose cannon. He was a Baptist preacher and nobody could be quite sure what he would do next. The ADL was very anxious about having an unguided missile out there." I'm telling you that the strategy hasn't changed. I want you to connect the dot because I told you at the beginning of the show, I read you excerpts of what Black identity extremists program in recent years, even under the Trump administration, where information was released while under the Trump administration, even though some of these things were taking place in between 15 and 18. Some of this information was released under the Trump administration. In 2019, rather, it's when we got our hands on more information. same thing today, Black family. You must not be ignorant to believe that all of this pushback against white supremacy and the fact that it was exposed in August of 2017 and more information was given by this Intercept piece in October of 2019, which was last year, that they're still trying to snoop and spy on you today. What did they say again? That the ADL in a 1993 interview, Schwarzschild admitted to San Francisco Weekly. I'm reading a quote from the San Francisco Weekly. The ADL, who pretends like they're for justice. See, that's why whatever the ADL says, we have to take that with a grain of salt, or we have to do our own vetting of it. Because while they pretend to act like that they are against bigotry and racism and all of these other things for other people, they still have a common goal. All these organizations, all of these different intersectional groups have one thing in common. They are all on code when it comes down to Black people. Even the ones like the ADL who pretend that there's some group that stands against bigotry. What did they say? The ADL was very anxious about having an unguided missile out there. Why? The question I started was what? Why did Dr. King meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in secret? Didn't I just read you the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's letter that he sent to Dr. King, and that he sent copies to the NAACP, CORE, SNCC, and so forth? At the end of that letter, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told each of those powerful Black men and Black organizations, what did he say? He said, we need not say this in public. Your open enemy is always trying to be in our business, which is why on the Vicky Show, we believe in the hashtag MYOWB. We believe in the hashtag on the Vicky Show of MYOWB, because they don't exactly know what we're going to do next. Why would they want to know that? What's it to them? They're always thinking and concerned about the end of their unjust rule, y'all. They're always concerned about being dethroned. Because the wise in white supremacy understand that their world is coming to an end because it's written. They know very well. The others just sense something. The ADL was very anxious about having an unguided missile. What did they say before that? It says it said before that, Schwarzschild said that the San Francisco Weekly, he says that King was some sort of the ADL thought King was a sort of a loose cannon. Dr. King met with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in secret. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told them to keep it a secret. Why? It's because your open enemy wants to know what we're doing, Black family. So when you get your funny looking self, some of you all that pretend to be about Black liberation, and you get your funny looking self online blabbing about all kinds of stuff that has no business being public. When you claim to be pro-Black and about Black liberation, and you are dogging your sister, threatening and inciting stuff against your Black brothers and sisters out there, baby, you're a fake and a phony. Somebody talk Black to me. And some of you all don't know the difference because you're not paying attention to the fruit they're producing. You don't get to just say pro-Black and be Black looking, and then you come to me and say, why are we causing so much division? And I'm going to say to you, I believe in the principle of the wheat and the tares. The tares look like the wheat, but they weren't the real thing. And in about a minute at harvest time, you're going to be able to tell the difference between the two. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. And some of you that subject yourselves, let me give you a quick warning. I wasn't expecting to do this. Some of you that subject yourselves to these people, and you'd have to justify in your mind their threats and their disrespect. of other Black people, and you just say, well, I just listen to everybody. Well, they say some good stuff. You better get far and away from me. Because when you subject yourself to that, I'm going to prophesy to you a reality that's bigger than me. That you are going to catch a social brand of coronavirus. Not just a natural coronavirus. You're going to get infected with the virus, and it's not going to show up in your life until later on. Because you decided to connect and to support with that madness. And you justify in your own mind connections to that. It's either you're going to be hot or you're going to be cold. You making excuses of why you are connecting yourself to those individuals is a sign of your weakness, your utter weakness, which is why we have no use for you anyway. What can we build with that brand of vacillation? Somebody talk Black to me. You nor them are going to make it into the hereafter, baby. You and y'all's madness is going to die in this world. It ain't even going into the new world. Somebody talk Black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Why did Dr. King secretly meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Thank God for the wise Honorable Elijah Muhammad who told them in this letter. Number one, they told them to do what? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told them to do what? To keep it secret. Don't go public with it. He understood the nature of your open enemy to try to plant tares among the wheat. And what did the owner say when his servants came in and say, didn't you sow good seed? The wise owner said what? An enemy has done this. Because some of you are so weak-minded, your only way of thinking on how an enemy could use you is only one way. It's very parochial. You don't even understand the manifold ways you are being used and pimped by your open enemy. Slowness. Can I get some turtles in the chat? Keep liking and sharing. Watch this. Let me give you a few more things here. Watch this. Watch this. In 1942, a secret ADL file entitled, quote, Temple of Islam Infiltration states that a Negro employee by us proved quite instrumental in an FBI raid on the Chicago mosque, resulting in 82 arrests. In 1959, the American Jewish Committee sent Black spies from the Urban League to Mr. Muhammad's Newark, New Jersey appearance. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2. That's what's in there. The ADL spying to silence Black political dissent in the 1940s leads to the arrest of 80 Black patriots. Can I show you this article picture that says they're among 80 in Chicago accused of sedition to defeat draft law? Y'all know we believe in receipts on the Vicky Show. Do you all see this? Let me make it a little smaller so you can see some more of those faces. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad there. Do you all see that? Among others. Y'all see them? Watch this. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. It talks about how both Dr. King and Messenger Muhammad took anti-war stances. We know about that, right? Watch this. It talks about how both Dr. King and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad were both arrested and imprisoned for their bold action, right? Y'all want to see a picture? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was arrested in May 8th and September 24th in 1942. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad there. Y'all see it? Under the piece there where it says, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad arrested on May 8th. Y'all see that right there? That's him. Now look at this other picture, which you all were very aware of Dr. King being arrested on a number of occasions, right? Let me get that picture back up. Somebody said they're censoring us, Queen. Yeah, they probably are, but that's okay. I know folks are saying they haven't gotten notification. That's all right, y'all. We're going to finish this up. I'm almost done because I got to get ready for my mastermind this evening. Watch this. Here's the other part that I want you to hear. Give me just a second so I can get it here. Watch this. It talks about how both of them believed in the power of developing Black economics and the use of economic withdrawal and boycotting of white businesses who refused to give justice to Black consumers. They both had that in common. Watch this. Both of them condemned Christmas as a pagan holiday. Some of you all didn't know that about Dr. King. And listen to this part. This particular one, which is the whole point of the show today, how both Muhammad and Dr. King partnered to work on the problem of Chicago's inner and America's inner city problems, but not just that. That's not the last part. Here's a part. How both of them met and developed a private relationship, a private friendship. Listen to this quote. But of course, Dr. Martin Luther King and him grew to become secret friends. And I really think a lot that caused his killing, I think the government was in back of it. Maybe not, but someone was in back of it. There was two things to consider. Number one, he spoke out against the war of Vietnam. And two, he and the messenger were pretty close. Because he, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, told me, I'm reading you a quote. I'm going to tell you who it's from in just a minute. Because he, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, told me that with the two of them working together, they could take it. So you see, there is a lot that the average person thinks they know that they don't know, brother. That's from Minister Lucius Bey Muhammad, 103-year-old Dean of the Ministers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, interview by Cedric Muhammad in 2004. They met secretly because they knew, just like that wise farmer in Matthew 13, that an enemy would try to come about and sow tares amongst their work. And I am here to warn you, Black family, not to be guilty of the same. I'm here to let you know the importance of our collective intelligence. Our collective intelligence will allow us to do great and mighty exploits, family. Are you hearing me? I was reminded of an Afro-Asian conference that took place some years ago. I don't know if you guys know about this or not. And the white Western powers got very concerned when this particular conference, this particular meeting happened. I don't know if you all have heard of this before. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. How many of you all remember hearing about the Bandung Conference, that Asia-African Conference in 1955? When you do your research on the Bandung Conference, family, this Asia-African Conference, this was in the 50s, the mid-20th century. It talks about a meeting of Asian and African states that were organized by Indonesia, Myanmar, which is known as Burma, Sri Lanka, India, and Pakistan, which took place April 18th to the 24th in 1955 in Bandung, Indonesia. In all, 29 countries representing more than half of the world's population sent delegates. The conference reflected the 5 sponsors' dissatisfaction. Y'all listen. The conference reflected the five sponsors' dissatisfaction with what they regarded as a reluctance by the Western powers to consult with them on decisions affecting Asia, their concern over tensions between the People's Republic of China and the United States, their desire to lay firmer foundations for China's peaceful relations with themselves and the West, the opposition to colonialism, especially French influence in North Africa, and Indonesia's desire to promote its case in the dispute of the Netherlands over Western New Guinea. Why am I reading you all of that? It says that the major debate centered upon the question of whether Soviet policies in Eastern Europe and Central Asia should be censured along with Western colonialism. A consensus was reached in which colonialism in all of its manifestations were condemned, implicitly censuring the Soviet Union as well as the West. It speaks of more, but in other words, it was a lot of Black, Africans, and Asians that came together at this conference. And white folks weren't allowed there. White Western powers weren't. And that ticked them off. And we find later that this organization did not come to be what they had hoped it would be, because there's always going to be some form of division, infiltration, corruption that you need to be aware of when you are trying to unify. There are so many fascinating insights about Dr. King that most folks did not know. And so I spoke to my research brother about this. And one of the things that we conversed about was this. And I don't want you to forget this, family. It's very important. And I got to get ready to go. Be sure to share this broadcast out, family. Thank you so much for tuning into my show. Don't forget, I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on FlyNewBeQueenTV.com. Those of you that were, apologize to you earlier. We were having some technical issues that were beyond our control. So some of you all had problems watching us. And also several of you have complained that you did not know we were live, that you didn't get notifications, some of you, and that we were shadow banned. I can't control that, but I believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast, and you can help us by liking, sharing, subscribing, and making sure that everybody knows that the Vicky Show is being uploaded here. Watch this. One of the things that I don't want you to forget, and I gotta go. What did J. Edgar Hoover say, y'all? In this section 2 about Dr. King, remember he talked about Malcolm X being a Messiah, but now he's the martyr, right? He talked about how Dr. King could be it, as well as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as well as Stokely Carmichael. But he specifically said about Dr. King that Dr. King could be a very real contender for this position should he abandon his supposed obedience to white liberal doctrines, nonviolence, and embrace Black nationalism. Why am I mentioning that? Because the fact that Dr. Martin Luther King started to secretly meet with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad means that the government's worst nightmare could take form. Because remember, he said that Dr. King, if he got rid of his what? His white liberal ideology, basically, and if he embraced Black militarism, he said he could actually be a contender as a Black Messiah, right? So if Dr. King is meeting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who they too believe was a candidate for the Messiah, but they thought he was a little too old. And if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's protege, Malcolm X, was certainly considered to be that, but he was at that time, now they considered him to be a martyr. Don't you know that their concern with him meeting with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad freaked them out? That this circle of gods started to convene? Are y'all hearing me today? Listen, one of the things that my brother and I were discussing was this. Even though it's not exactly known how many times they met, what we know is that after Dr. King met with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and this is stuff I was confirming with the researcher, is that Dr. King was different after that. That meeting was Hoover's worst nightmare. Remember, the FBI buying through COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover said what? That the Black Messiah, if he gave up obedience to the white liberals, That meeting is what I'm telling you. The meeting signaled that Martin Luther King was doing just that. And so we know that Hoover killed him not long after that. Black family, we are to remain fearless. Our unity is stronger than an atomic bomb, and nothing can stop us, family. We are absolutely unstoppable, and we are in our finest hour. It is time for us to convene the circle of the gods. What do you mean, Vicki, convene the circle of the gods? I mean, it's time for us to start meeting offline and to get on code together, because our collective wisdom will cause us to undo this system of injustice, this universal religion and government of white supremacy, so that we might live based on freedom, justice, and equality. Join me tonight. Go to clubvicki.com for information, how you can connect with my VIP mastermind class tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I got to get ready right now and do some medical stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen to the whole broadcast if you just came in, family. Share. Thank all of you for your patience, again, with our technical issues. Don't worry about the fact that everybody didn't get notifications. It's okay. Keep sharing, keep liking. Keep sharing, keep liking. I love you to pieces. Keep these things in mind and begin to find real ways that you can begin to unify with your own Black brothers and sisters. And I'm talking about the right ones, on how we can build Black, support Black, teach our own babies and children, make our own neighborhoods safe and decent places to live, and how we can get on code together to make our demands and to get results. Okay? Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. I came to you in peace. I leave you in peace. I love you to pieces. Mwah. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved.